Hey, Jeremy.
Yeah, what you got there,
Look
Sylvia?
what I got for Christmas.
Nice toy.
Yeah, look. Hey, and it's 0. You know, so it works for me.
That's right.
My IQ is 0.
Lots of species on here we shouldn't be eating.
I know. This is cool. What are we doing here today?
We're actually going to be talking a little bit of food news on overfishing and aquaculture. Then we're going to take a little ride out to Kentucky State University, talk with Angela Caporelli with the Department of Agriculture. And then after
she's
that,
a diva.
That's right. Then I got a great recipe using Kentucky Aquaculture Prawns. It's actually an award-winning recipe we won the cook-off with, so you have to check that out.
Oh, Jeremy, we just had too much fun.
That's right.
Welcome to Kentucky's largest commercial restaurant equipment and supplies store. Seaworth Superstore is a 15,000 square foot chef's treasure chest.
Seaworth Superstore is the store for those in the restaurant industry, churches, and catering. Find chefware, large equipment, refrigeration unit, about anything needed for a volume event. Seaworth Superstore, in business since 1954, offering free local delivery, so come on in and get hooked immediately.
And a complete line of chef apparel. Seaworth Superstore, located at 1403 Versailles Road and seaworthsuperstore.com.
Why do chefs choose Lyons Farm beef?
When I get things in the kitchen, I can tell like right off the bat. After I get done searing it or put it on the grill or roasting it or baking it or frying it or whatever I'm going to do, the second I cut into that thing, whether it's the resistance on the fork or just the way it kind of slides across the knife, it's got to be right on from the get-go. And it seems like this beef does that every single time.
Lyons Farm beef, available at Critchfield Meats and lyonsfarm.com.
Advertise your product or service on shows like this one. Contact Media 7 Broadcasting today. Call 859-317-4565 or email sales@m7bg.com. Reach potential new customers in the Louisville, Lexington, and other central Kentucky areas. Get your new ad produced for free by Media 7's audio and video professionals. Call 859-317-4565 today and let Media 7 create a marketing plan for you.
A European experience without leaving Lexington at Azure Restaurant and Patio. For lunch or dinner, enjoy excellent service and truly unique cuisine that will delight your senses. Unwind with award-winning cocktails or conduct business over a memorable meal. Every occasion is special at Azure Restaurant and Patio, located off Harrisburg Road in the Beaumont Center.
Today's shoppers are informed. When shopping for the family meal, today's shopper chooses Critchfield Meats for fresh, all-natural quality meats, guaranteed. Make the right choice and visit our family before you feed yours. Critchfield Meats, the meat specialist, family owned and operated since 1969. That's a grade A choice, folks.
Here's a way to give 2 holiday gifts for the price of 1. Serve food that's prepared with ingredients made or grown in Kentucky. We call it Kentucky Proud, and that's your assurance of quality. When you buy Kentucky Proud, you also brighten the holidays for a Kentucky farm family. Find gift and recipe ideas at KentuckyProud.com. Kentucky Proud is funded in part by the Kentucky Agricultural Development Fund and is a program of the Kentucky Department of Agriculture. James R. Comer, Commissioner.
Hey, Jeremy, today we are at this fabulous facility. We're going to learn more about it when we come back with our interview with Angela Caporelli.
I know, we've got aquaculture, aquaponics. What is that, right?
Hey, I have fish spit all over me.
We just took a fish bath.
You notice my hair looks so good. Got caught by a tilapia.
Yeah, you did.
It was a striped bass.
It was a killer whale, but it was only that big. It was like a killer minnow.
You are going to love this stuff. But what it does bring to mind is, hey, the study just came out. I want you to explain this to me. It says that you can be overweight now and be healthy. So why should I be turning to aquaculture and fish?
Because it's the right thing to do. I mean, imagine our depleting oceans over the past 40 years. Commercial fishing's changed a lot.
Yeah.
And the thing is like there are plenty of fish in the sea, but certain species we need to take a little break on. I mean, around in America, we love snapper, we love grouper, we love cod, we love all these things, but the way we've been eating and fishing has made some devastation on the oceans.
Yeah, there's
so that's why
several issues.
aquaculture is big.
There's like animal rights issues.
Yeah, big time.
Shark fin soup in California has been banned, and there's a lot of that sort of thing. Sort of bleeds into the sustainability issue of just overdoing it, right? And nets and things like that.
That's right. You know, when we take out large boats like that and wipe out entire, populations, it just becomes kind of hard. Now, we're not trying to say fishing is bad. That's
because
really
the fisher people out there are concerned about this because they're losing jobs and stuff. But they'll lose their jobs long term if the fish go away.
Economically, fishing is a big part of our industry, or economic industry here. And we have to have that. These people need jobs. But, you can't eat fish. You can't eat those species. But pay attention to when they're in season. That's the thing, is moderation.
How do chefs know that?
Well, actually, there's an app for that, Sylvia. There's the Monterey Bay Seafood Aquarium app has an iPhone app now. So you can go on there and see, what to buy, when to buy it, what things are kind of on their watch list, and what things are okay to go ahead and think. So I kind of talk to my fish people and say, hey, is this, on the watch list, or should I, you can see. So it's a great little tool to utilize, and you guys can use it also. Pick up an app, and then if you're out to eat, request things that are not on the watch list.
Very interesting. Yeah, and mislabeling of fish is another thing, which brings us to aquaculture and local in Kentucky Proud, and how important Angela's work is with aquaculture.
Yeah, that's right.
And tell me about that.
Well, just
that's like growing it here.
I have to say also, from a world standpoint, I think that the United States is very responsible with their fishing practices. Except for when we put laws and regulations on certain species, other parts of the world will go in there and do it anyway. They're like, okay, the U.S. isn't going to fish for that, so we'll go in those waters and do it anyway. So it's got to be a world standpoint, but that's kind of one of the reasons we want to buy local, just like we like to know where our food comes from.
And it makes it even more important.
Right, so, buy fish, where it comes from, right?
Yeah. Well, like mislabeling is a big issue because like with pregnant women, for instance, there are certain fish that have toxins and then they're mislabeling them.
That's true.
Going back to local, because you know where it came from. And our aquaculture culture in this state, we know about it.
That's right. In this state and also in the United States, aquaculture has got better regulations. So they won't be dumping chemicals into the closed systems or open systems to keep the fish, disease-free or whatever they need to do to make them grow. So it's much more responsible to fish from a national or local aquaculture.
Yeah, it's so confusing for consumers, and one of the things that we like to do in Food News and Choose, which is what we're doing right here, is try to bring some enlightenment to these issues. So if a person goes in a grocery store, should they look for... I know there's a lot more labeling being done, for instance, of Kentucky Proud.
Right.
And you go into certain places and you can see that.
Yeah, and, look for striped bass, look for freshwater prawns.
Look for because those are things grown.
That's right. Those are things that are grown. Now, in terms of fish, if you want to buy wild-caught fish from the ocean, fine. Just make sure it's in season. Make sure it's not overfished. It's just a matter of where it comes from. So it's just responsibility. That's all we have to do.
And when we say aquaculture, we're really saying farm-raised,
right? Yeah, we're really saying farm-raised.
They start out somewhere, but they end up being
farm-raised. And this is a great way to sustain the human race into the future. So
what is it, 9 billion people in the year 2050?
That's right.
We're going to have to figure out
how to feed them. And people like fish.
Besides giant salmon.
Yeah, really.
Genetically modified salmon that we had on. We had a guest star last week. It was a gigantic salmon.
That's right.
But I don't think
Ralph.
we're going to further.
And he was delicious too.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
Oh yeah.
But
All right.
That's right. Coming up, we have Angela Caporelli with the Kentucky Department of Agriculture talking to us about aquaponics and aquaculture. So
the diva.
Stay tuned.
A European experience without leaving Lexington at Azure Restaurant and Patio. For lunch or dinner, enjoy excellent service and truly unique cuisine that will delight your senses. Unwind with award-winning cocktails or conduct business over a memorable meal. Every occasion is special at Azure Restaurant and Patio, located off Harrisburg Road in the Beaumont Center.
Jeremy, the restaurant startup business is challenging. We should know.
That's right. In business since 1954, Seaworth Superstore is the place to begin. Reconditioned equipment and the lease to purchase program can get you in and going in no time.
Seaworth, with its dedicated staff, can help you plan with CAD services that provide a successful layout.
Dan and his team will help you fill in the blanks with everything from soft drink machines to exhaust hoods. Come to Seaworth Superstore and make your dreams come true.
Located at 1403 Versailles Road and SeaworthSuperstore.com.
Here's a way to give 2 holiday gifts for the price of 1. Serve food that's prepared with ingredients made or grown in Kentucky. We call it Kentucky Proud, and that's your assurance of quality. When you buy Kentucky Proud, you also brighten the holidays for a Kentucky farm family. Find gift and recipe ideas at KentuckyProud.com. Kentucky Proud is funded in part by the Kentucky Agricultural Development Fund and is a program of the Kentucky Department of Agriculture. James R. Comer, Commissioner.
Why do chefs choose Lyons Farm beef?
When I get things in the kitchen, I can tell like right off the bat. After I get done searing it or put it on the grill or roasting it or baking it or frying it or whatever I'm going to do, the second I cut into that thing, whether it's the resistance on the fork or just the way it kind of slides across the knife, it's got to be right on from the get-go. And it seems like this beef does that every single time.
Lyons Farm beef, available at Critchfield Meats and LyonsFarm.com.
Advertise your product or service on shows like this one. Contact Media 7 Broadcasting today. Call 859-317-4565 or email sales@m7bg.com. Reach potential new customers in the Louisville, Lexington, and other central Kentucky areas. Get your new ad produced for free by Media 7's audio and video professionals. Call 859-317-4565 today and let Media 7 create a marketing plan for you.
Today's shoppers are informed. When shopping for the family meal, today's shopper chooses Critchfield Meats for fresh, all-natural quality meats, guaranteed. Make the right choice and visit our family before you feed yours. Critchfield Meats, the meat specialist, family owned and operated since 1969. That's a grade A choice, folks.
Jeremy, guess what?
What?
We have the aquaculture queen with us.
That's right. We got Angela Caporelli, the aquaculture specialist.
Queen.
And Angela, we've been talking. She's the bomb. We've been talking about aquaculture today, especially when it comes to sustainable fishing and maybe overfishing in the seas. And here we are at the aquaculture facility. Tell us why it's important to buy local aquaculture.
And where we are.
Well, welcome to Kentucky State University. This is a brand new facility. Kentucky State has been active in aquaculture for 20 plus years.
Right.
It started
world famous,
it's very world famous. When you talk anywhere in the world about aquaculture, people know Kentucky State. They have excellent research going on. They have some of the top of the line researchers doing all kinds of fish, from largemouth bass, hybrid striped bass, tilapia, paddlefish, reservoir ranging, shrimp, freshwater prawn. It's awesome. This facility right here is brand new. It's got a genetics lab. They brought in some shrimp from Myanmar and crossed them with Texas shrimp to see if there was any genetic spunk that was missing. So there's pretty cool research going on. We've got some aquaponics systems. We're lucky enough.
What is it? Yeah.
Aquaponics is basically integrating fish culture and plant culture. It's a totally sustainable closed system where the fish utilize the water, the waste from the fish goes into the plants strip out the nitrates, and make it less toxic. That's the plant.
So what we mean is it's its own ecosystem, right?
And a cycle of life.
So this is how we're going to feed people on other planets someday, right?
It is. Well, we got 9 billion we got to deal with here.
Yeah, we got 9 billion here, right?
And we are going to double our population by 2050.
Right.
Yeah.
Aquaculture is the fastest growing sector of ag worldwide today.
Really?
And it probably has surpassed cattle. It was supposed to surpass cattle production worldwide.
Well, plus
by
fish is so
2012.
health oriented, and we've been trying to do a health kind of thing after the first of the year.
And farm raising fish and aquaculture is important too, because the oceans are being depleted in certain species. A lot of do-gooders, we talk about the oceans just running out of fish, and that's not specifically true, but certain species are on the verge of decline. Is that correct?
They're on the verge of decline. They're not replicating as quickly as they could be with a better balance of the ocean. So we have to maintain a good balance, take out some fish, take out some other fish that we can use for fish meal to feed other fish. Fish eat fish.
That's
it's
just
natural.
the law of nature, right?
Sylvia, we
So-
talked about that too.
Yeah.
About let's say mad cow happened because we were giving animal proteins
Right.
to
urban
But this
cows.
is a whole different thing.
Right.
I mean,
but in the
cattle-
ocean, fish eat fish.
nature.
Right. Cattle eat plants. They don't eat meat protein. So it's a kind of a different crossover.
Angela, I got to find out how you got into this. You're so talented, and you actually speak all over the world about
Yeah, I
this.
have. Thank you. I'm pretty lucky. I've had a great career. I started out in commercial fisheries working on fishing boats, and then worked for
love that.
Marine
See the
Fisheries
deadliest
with
catch
those
right here.
big-
I did. I
nets.
even got on the time bandit at one point.
So she's a Gloucester woman.
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
But worked all up and down the East Coast.
Rhode Island, Gloucester, whatever. Yeah.
But wanted to get back into production. Fisheries, aquaculture is my field. I have my degree in aquaculture and commercial fisheries.
You really do. I mean, there's
So, from the University of Rhode Island.
I love it.
But I wanted to get more into production because I saw the trend going that we need to feed the world
Right.
readily,
Yeah,
easily
start here in
accessible,
Kentucky.
easily digestible, high quality protein. So aquaculture is doing great worldwide. It's just blowing everything away.
Now, there's a difference between aquaculture and closed and open water systems, correct? I know there's some kind of large wild fish hatcheries, which are kind of in a large net in the ocean. Is that correct? Versus a closed. This is more of a closed system.
Right. What they're doing is really just using more of the natural resources as far as water flow. They're still feeding, but it's not as much water quality issues because they got that big flow and you have that big space, three-dimensional culture pretty much. We're doing a lot with shellfish that way and some of the finfish now. Now, some people have an issue with fish feed.
Yeah.
And
that
that
is-
there's a misconception that,
unfortunately,
it's not
and we
good.
try to clear up some of those misconceptions.
But if you think about it, we can develop feed, which Kentucky State is an awesome nutrition research center for fish feed, that fish can utilize those proteins more efficiently, then it's worth the effort because it's much more sustainable.
Yeah.
A fish out in nature might take a bite, and leave the rest of the fish. Where if we can develop, and we have developed excellent complete protein, all the essential amino acids in that feed, it's almost 1.2, 1.5 to 1 conversion rate. Now even chickens, which have gotten very good, are like 4 to 5 to 1.
Oh,
so all those
interesting.
resources to what you're actually getting out, we have to look at the environmental impacts and the efficiencies of those.
Kentucky Proud, talk to us a little bit about
Kentucky
it.
Proud.
I know Jeremy's really.
Kentucky
we're all
Proud.
into
Jeremy
that.
is our godfather,
He does a
our
great
poster
thing.
child.
His little shrimp thing. Yeah.
Supported local
Love it,
farmers, local producers. Years ago, we started the program. It's come leaps and bounds. Commissioner Comer is very supportive of it.
Oh,
The
yeah,
Ag
he's done a
Development
great
Board
job. Yeah.
just
just need to
supports
get
us
the word
every
out more.
year. We have over 240 restaurants participate in the restaurant rewards. So it's a way to help farmers market their products and help consumers identify local products that are supporting the economy, don't travel, they have very low food miles.
So why should we Kentucky aquaculture?
Because I'm here.
Yeah.
The diva.
It's just a good thing to do.
Yeah.
It's another way for farms who have lost some impact because of tobacco to
another
offset
thing,
some of the
yeah.
loss. The economy's always changing. Chefs always want something different. Diversify, and this is a way to diversify.
What's in those crates back there? Are there critters in there?
There are critters in there. You want to look at some
Feed
critters?
in a minute, Sylvia.
Oh, we get a
There's
feed
some
them?
largemouth bass. There's some tilapia. There's some catfish.
Ooh, you probably know all the
We got a lot.
differences.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Jeremy, what's your favorite aquaculture recipe?
I really enjoy the striped bass and also like the prawns as well. In fact, there was one recipe we did that won the Kentucky
Great
seafood
seafood
cook-off. So we did that with the woven shrimp, but also the next year we won it again and we used some striped bass that we wrapped around some shrimp. That was with local mushrooms too. It was really neat.
Really
Put a little
good.
bourbon smoke on it. It's really neat. There's so much you can do with aquaculture stuff, and I encourage people to get out there and try it. There's plenty of places to buy it.
What about you? You're a cook, I know.
I
you've
like
always
to
got
keep
your
it
heads together.
simple. I'm one who wants people in the kitchen while I'm cooking, so I don't want to get too, but just sauteed in butter and garlic over some pasta or just
See, she can outcook me anytime. She's got
I
that northern
cannot.
influence, and love it. She's all over it.
There's some good products here.
We could have both of you in a test kitchen one of these days.
I don't know, I'd be too scared, you know.
Oh, yeah, right.
And I would just be in awe.
We'd feed you. It'd be edible.
Yeah, that's right. We'd be all right, yeah. We could come up with some good recipes.
But I mean, even you've used the caviar, you
Love
use
it.
the paddlefish, have no bones. There's a fish we raise here, no bones. They get up to
No
65 pounds.
They don't have bones?
They have one jawbone, and it's beautiful meat. Takes the smoke really well. And
It's
the
really
bass
good,
is
and
awesome.
plus from an economic standpoint, it's almost 100% yield other than the head. So, and they say there's no bone, so you don't lose that weight. So it's really good for chefs to be able to use.
Great.
We've got a bunch of growers getting into that, and you know, it's a diversified state, so
And growing.
Yeah.
We love it. Thank you, Angela.
thank you.
Yeah,
That's right. I can't wait to tell you guys how to cook the woven shrimp on the next segment. And I also want to see Sylvia feed some fish, right?
Yeah,
There you
it's
go.
like, they won't get my finger, will they?
They will.
Thank
They
you.
will. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Angela.
Advertise your product or service on shows like this one. Contact Media 7 Broadcasting today. Call 859-317-4565 or email sales@m7bg.com. Reach potential new customers in the Louisville, Lexington, and other central Kentucky areas. Get your new ad produced for free by Media 7's audio and video professionals. Call 859-317-4565 today and let Media 7 create a marketing plan for you.
A European experience without leaving Lexington at Azure Restaurant and Patio. For lunch or dinner, enjoy excellent service and truly unique cuisine that will delight your senses. Unwind with award-winning cocktails or conduct business over a memorable meal. Every occasion is special at Azure Restaurant and Patio, located off Harrisburg Road in the Beaumont Center.
Why do chefs choose Lyons Farm beef?
It's consistent, it's delicious, it's got great tenderness, and it's really good for you. This nutritional element of making healthy animals for healthy eating is a big component about why their beef is so delicious. I feel so lucky to be a chef in Kentucky because the best way to express care for someone is to make them something to eat. I get to do that every single day.
Lyons Farm beef, available at Critchfield Meats and LyonsFarm.com.
Here's a way to give 2 holiday gifts for the price of 1. Serve food that's prepared with ingredients made or grown in Kentucky. We call it Kentucky Proud, and that's your assurance of quality. When you buy Kentucky Proud, you also brighten the holidays for a Kentucky farm family. Find gift and recipe ideas at KentuckyProud.com. Kentucky Proud is funded in part by the Kentucky Agricultural Development Fund and is a program of the Kentucky Department of Agriculture. James R. Comer, Commissioner.
Hi, and welcome to Food News and Chews, and we're doing aquaculture today. Now, to me, I'm getting really good at this. Fish.
Yes, well,
What you doing?
you know, here in Kentucky, we actually farm raise shrimp, which is really an amazing feat.
Yeah.
It really helps, takes the stress off the ocean. So I encourage you trying something different at home, maybe going to co-op and buying some Kentucky aquaculture shrimp instead of the normal shrimp, right?
Yeah.
So here's a quick
Farm-raised,
recipe
right?
that we've won
Okay.
awards with. It's really not that hard. It looks really, fabulous for presentation. It's great for hors d'oeuvres. So try this out. What are you going to do,
And
Sylvia?
what is it called?
This is called the woven shrimp.
Oh, I love
Yes.
that stuff.
Very simple. We're going to make a quick beer batter. I like to use just 1 egg.
Only do about half of that beer, and I'll have the rest.
Right. So Kentucky bourbon barrel ale. I like the nice rich tones of the bourbon barrel.
Pierce
It's kind of
Lyons
sweet.
would love this.
So we're going to add a little bit of a beer to that.
Smell that.
And then here you go. Smell
Yeah,
it. Up.
sniff it.
Then whisk that together. And then I like to add a little seasoned flour. What we're going to do is make kind of a thick little batter that we can dip shrimp into. So it mixes together quite nice. I'm going to add just a little bit more for the proper consistency. Actually, you know what? That looks good. Just a pinch.
And then what's this? This is flour.
This is just seasoned flour. You can make your own, just flour, salt, pepper. Or if you don't want to mix it together first, do it at the end.
The trick for me always is, even when I have attempted to cook, is getting the batter to stick to the...
Well, it's all about the right consistency. See, it's a little bit loose, but enough to stick to the shrimp. You'll see it kind of lightly drip off the bottom. So this is called Kataifi. I can't even spell it right or say it right. It's a shredded phyllo dough.
Yeah.
Really,
and
really
you get
interesting.
that,
Kind of
you
looks
can,
like hair.
Get that in a...
Yeah, this is neat stuff.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. So we're going to take our shrimp, and I'm going to do one, then I want you to do one. Sylvia, just dip it into your batter. And see how it kind of coats it lightly?
Yeah. So you just swish it around.
Swish it
Why
around.
can't I ever get that to work?
And then drop your shrimp in it and just kind of roll it up like this. All right. So your turn.
Hey, look. Look. Swish, swish, swish. And then my
roll it up.
phyllo. And roll it up. Oh, this looks good.
Now
Mine's
see,
a
they kind
tiny
of look
one.
like this kind of big poofy hair shrimp,
Yeah.
which is
What is
you're looking
phyllo
for.
what is it made out of? Did you say?
This is just flour and water, but it's done magically. You know, it's
Yeah,
got a
and
little
they
bit
make
of
it magic, yeah.
you know, wheat starch in
It's
it
probably
too.
better just to buy.
Yeah, you want to
Yeah.
buy this. I wouldn't attempt to make katafi at home. Anyway, we got to go and cook them now.
All right. Hey, we're here at the Quality Construction Magnificent Kitchen,
Yes.
and you're getting ready to do phyllo shrimp.
That's right. Well, we wrapped them up. We used the beer batter, but now we want a little pan of oil for shallow frying. See, it's about a quarter inch or so.
Don't need a deep fryer or anything,
No,
just your
just
regulation
anything at home is fine.
skillet.
Right. You can do a few of these at a time. And you notice they kind of poof out. You know, get
Oh,
really kind of
this sounds
neat,
delicious.
right? It kind of looks like you know, kind of hairy. It's really neat though.
Jeremy, why don't you flip?
Yeah, I will. So see, Sylvia, when you do
I'm
this,
about to flip.
these are
That's
nice
so
and
good
golden
looking.
brown on one side. What you really want
Yeah.
to do
And
is
be
make sure you, when you
careful.
dip in here, you flip it away from you.
Okay.
That way, if it splashes
Yeah,
on
which
the
I'm
other
really
side.
bad at. You know,
Yeah.
spattering my
So
glasses.
see how nice and golden brown that is?
Oh, that looks delicious.
Right. So that's
Now,
what-
let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Did you ever put any, the flour was seasoned?
Exactly.
So
So,
you
we
don't
have the
have to,
salt
like-
and pepper in there already.
Okay.
And then this has a nice flavor too. Like I said, it's buttery,
smells
crunchy,
so
really,
good.
really good. So we're going to do this on this side also, another 2.5 minutes or so, then they're done.
All right, Jeremy,
Yes.
what do we do now besides eat them?
Well, we've got these nicely browned. See how golden and luscious those are? Everybody's going to love this. It's our version of fried shrimp. You know, we actually won the
you gotta
Kentucky
be- Can we have a
Seafood
smell
Cook-Off
factor
with this
here?
dish.
Like,
so
you know.
this is a winner for us. So plate up is really simple. I like to use a little bit of a slaw. I just like the
that's that great
contrast and
slaw you
texture.
serve.
Yeah, this is a lemon slaw. We'll give you a recipe for this somewhere down the road if you want to make it yourself. But anything's
It's not
fine.
mayo-based, which is
Yeah,
makes
it's
it like
more of a-
diet. It's like you said the other day, we had diet pork.
It's a little better
Diet
for you
slaw.
than a mayonnaise-based slaw. So maybe a couple shrimp on each side. You know, just leaning up against
Thanks
it.
Super Bowl and parties.
Yeah, this is a great hors d'oeuvre. Pass it around. You can use a little smaller shrimp if you like. Now, what I use here is just a mixture of local honey and some sambal, which is a red chili paste. Mix them together, bring it to a simmer, and then cool it down, and it's ready to go. So just like a honey and red chili sauce.
Sort of sweet and sour.
Yeah, a little bit, a little sweet and spicy.
Sweet and spicy.
Maybe a little bit on the
Maybe
plate.
better to say now than.
And then if you want to get real fancy, maybe some nice greens like arugula just to kind of tip off the top and give it a little color. And then I love this lemon olive oil, so I'm going to use some on the plate because I like seafood and
olive
lemon. You know, seafood and lemon's a great combination. So a little extra of this is powerful.
Actually, you're right.
So this is our award winner, the woven shrimp. We
Oh,
won the
beautiful.
Kentucky Seafood Cook-Off with. I encourage you to use the Aquaculture Prawns from Kentucky and try those out. This is a great dish. I hope everybody likes it.
Okay, we'll be back next week.